So today we're talking about not waiting for change. And I don't mean this as in people don't change or things never change, because the only certainty in life is that there's going to be change. Whether that's friendships, relationships, your routine, even the way that you breathe changes with each breath. Like no breath that you take is exactly the same. But I think to an extent we need to prioritize ourselves to recognize when things are not changing, to allow ourselves to let go.
I'll do the 4 count of just the
minis?
Yeah, but not a meal, just the minis themselves.
Of course. Anything else?
And then just one of the biscuits.
And a Chick-fil-A biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay, Nicole. So I have a 4-count chicken mini and a hot butter biscuit. Would you like any condiments today?
Yeah, can I do the Chick-fil-A sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce, of course.
They're always so nice at Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Thank you so much. What she order? Chick-fil-A. I'm aware it's fish fillet. Today it's Chick-fil-A.
I feel like I've lived most of my life thinking that I could help people, especially in relationships and even in friendship. Not saying that people can't learn from their experiences and grow, but I would say there's a certain essence of a person or certain habits that people have that they will probably never outgrow. Oh, there we go. I think I figured out the brightness situation. I don't know if religion has something to do with this, because I grew up in church where we're taught that God gives many chances. And though I am not God, I feel like we're taught to be like him in a lot of ways, and I think being forgiving is a big sentiment. I think that trickles into my personal life, especially with relationships, where I think someone can change or be better because I just see it in them. I see that they could be a better person. But at the same time, me seeing better in this person really doesn't mean anything unless they see it and want it for themselves. I think of the story my friend Ginny says a lot, where I've known her since I was probably in 7th or 8th grade, and she says to me that I'm still a very similar person to who I was when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And she doesn't mean that in a way that I haven't grown as a person, but I think it's more so that I still hold this similar essence. And I think it's similar where I see her and she has changed so much, but at the same time, it's not like she's a completely different person, you know? There's still remnants of her as a younger person. I think we need to let people show us who they are through their actions, because people can say they want to do one thing or another thing all the time and say they're gonna do better or they're gonna grow from whatever situation you were in with them, but they're still who they are. Like, they could say they're gonna change a billion times, but they're not gonna change for you. They have to change for themselves if that's what they want to do. Another story that's coming to mind is when I was in high school, my high school boyfriend smoked, and it stressed me out. And I remember one day he was like coughing up blood and was really sick. I think he had bronchitis or something, but I forced him to go to the ER. At the time, I didn't know, there's urgent care or whatnot, but I told him to go to the ER, and he did. And I remember the doctor sitting there telling me,
"You can tell him to change or quit as much as you want to tell him to quit, but he's never going to quit unless he wants to quit for himself."
And I think a lot about what that doctor said. There's things you need to learn to accept and things you need to learn to let go. Also, be willing to hold on to boundaries of things you're not willing to deal with. Change is not instant. Change takes years, it takes months, it takes a lot of effort, and I think unless someone is extremely self-aware to make the change, it's not impossible, but it takes a lot of time. And I don't think that it's your responsibility to wait for somebody to change, because that's their work they need to do. It's not something you can do for them. Your time is just as precious. You really only do have one life, and you need to prioritize yourself and your mental health and your inner peace. And if someone's actions are eating away at your peace, it's not worth it. It's not your job to change people. We are not here to make people projects. We should accept them, or if we don't accept them, let them move on and find someone who understands them and their perspective of life. That's okay. How boring would life be if we all had the same exact opinion about everything? We'd be like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where every single person looks the same and they're all blobs. And that wouldn't be very fun, would it? So I'll see you tomorrow.